I would like to welcome everybody who's watching this demonstration. This week we are talking about evaluating IDSs, firewalls, and honeypots. For the ones that don't know me, my name is Erdal Ozkaya. I'm one of the CSU lecturers working at IT Masters and Chem Technologies, trying to help the community to learn more about security and setting some load balancers as well. If you have any question regarding this demonstration that you are about to watch or any previous demonstrations, please feel free to email me from one of these communication methods. If you have Facebook or Twitter, feel free to follow me from there as well. Just a quick news, if you're interested with Windows Server 2012 R2 and you're gonna take a training course, feel free to look at the cover on your books. You might see my name there. It's one of my books which is out available in Microsoft CPLS partners. Okay, back to our course. If you want to download this PowerPoint presentations or the official EC Council Network Administrator courseware, please make sure to log in to learn.itmasters.edu.au. Once you log in there, if you have multiple courses, you can select the ENSA, which is the EC Council Network Security Administrator certification. From there, you can see all the details. You can connect to discussion forums. You can connect to any other resources which is available there, such as, let's say, Week2 webinar, such as Week2 courseware, such as Week2 additional materials. Okay, what did we cover this week in the presentation? We did cover what IDSs, IPSs are. Just a quick reminder, what was an IDS? An IDS is intrusion detection system, which is a device or software application that keeps an eye in the network or system activities for any possible malicious activities or policy violations. And its job is to create a report to the IT administration or management station. Some systems may attempt to stop an intrusion attempt, then this is an IPS, but this is neither required or expected of monitoring system. Monitoring is just keeping an eye. Okay, as you know, this is a demonstration, and for this demonstration we have an objective. The objective is to help you to understand how you can install and detect how you can install prevention system, detection system, and how you can prevent your network from getting infected. Our first stop is going to be installing and configuring Snort IDSs. Then I'm going to show you how you can run Snort as service, how you can log on to files, how you can log to Snort files, so you can see it in a Kiwi Syslog server, and how you can store Snort log files to output resources simultaneously. So we got a scenario. What is the scenario? Do a growing number of intrusions and size the internet and local networks have become so ubiquitous, organization increasingly implementing various systems that monitor IT security breaches. Okay, now we need an intrusion detection system that are recently gained, and your job is going to be install that. We just talked about what IDS does. Their job is to keep an eye in the network. Okay, one of the other key important job of IDS is to provide and leave unusual activity and issue alerts, so you as the network administrator can see or block any suspected connection. In order to become an expert or a penetration tester, you must possess sound knowledge of network intrusion prevention systems, IDSs, malicious network activities, and log information. So, knowing that, keep in mind, if you didn't watch so far mine how to build your own lab video, please go and watch it and make sure you build your own lab. Your lab can be any operating system. If you want to use Linux, feel free. Backtrack, feel free. My preference is Microsoft. This lab, please make sure you're using your own risk. And I would highly recommend you not to use anything what you learn here in real life without permission. As usual, you might not be able to follow this any steps, and your lab might fail. So it's usual for some students. So what I'm trying to say is, please, if the lab doesn't work as it should be, keep moving forward and try to always see what you're doing. So my lab environment is set up from zero, and the idea is to help you to build the same lab with the same configuration. But my resources are a bit different to yours, and it's really hard for me to know your resources, your network settings. So if in this case I have to assume that you are you did set up the network corrections right. Okay, prerequisites. You need two PCs. One PC where you install the Snot. In my case, it's a Windows Server 2012. And your second PC has to be the attacker PC. In my case, Windows 8.1. You will see me connecting to different virtual systems via RPC or via Azure hosted cloud system. So it really doesn't make any difference for you. You can just do it locally from where you are. Okay, saying that, our first job is going to be installing Windows Server 2012. I assume you built the lab already. Then your first job is going to be install Snot. To be able to install Snot, you should connect to snot.org. From there you can go click download Snot. From there you can go and download Snot based on your operating system. As soon as you do that, I would like you to just double click and start the installation. Once the installation is done, all what you have to do is basically connect to your operating system, log in. This is my Server 2012 workstation. What I have here is, I'm just gonna go to my installation directories. In my installation directory, I got Snot ready here. So in this case, all what I have to do is double click Snot. As soon as I do that, it's going to install Snot for me. If you have an IPv6 network, please make sure you enable IPv6 support. Select the components to install at Snot. Select the default location. And as soon as you do that, you will see that your default signatures will be installed there. And this will successfully install Snot. So, Snot requires also WinPCAP. If you have it installed in your system, no problem. If not, you can just go to WinPCAP and download it. In my case, it's installed, but just to show you the steps, all what you have to do is go and run the installation. As I said, in my case it's installed. This is a bit older version here. Now, Snot is installed. We need to connect to our Snot system. In this case, I'm going to my Windows Explorer. I go to my C drive. From there, Snot. Come to your bin folder, right click, and start command line from here. This will ensure Snot will starting from the right command line. As soon as you do that, please make sure you type Snot to start and complete the installation. This will go and install Snot for you. It will take some time. So as soon as you go and install Snot, you should have a screen like that. At the end, it should tell you that the installation is complete. Okay, now as soon as you install, come back to your admin console. I want you to type snot-W. This command will list your machine's physical addresses, IP addresses, and Ethernet drivers. But keep in mind, they're all disabled by default. So your job is going to be, oops. Once you do that, you will see that Snot will be displaying your physical addresses. In my case, I got one adapter here. My job is to see that if everything is enabled. Please make sure you write your index number down if you got more than one. In this case, my index number is 1. This is my MAC address, my IP address, and etc. So, to enable the Ethernet driver, you should type snot space dev dash I, and in this case 1. This will go ahead and enable the Snot driver for me, the network adapter for me. Let's wait a few seconds. And you will see that it will start the installation process, the enabling process. This can be much faster in your environment or a bit slower, depend on your network configuration settings. Okay, as soon as you enable the Snot network adapters, remember I said you should have two computers. In my case, I had one Windows Server 2012 and one Windows 8 PC. This is my Windows 8 PC here, and I can just connect to it from my virtual console. But in your case, you should know the IP address of your virtual PC. So please do not ping this IP address. Ping your own IP address to verify that you can ping your Windows 8 or any other workstation that you might have in your environment. In my case, I'm pinging .80, all good, no problem. The PC is up and running. Alright, now we need to go to the Snot config file and make sure that our Snot config file has been set up correctly. In this case, I go to Snot, C, Snot, etc. And from here, I'm gonna go and right click the Snot config file. I'm just opening it with my Node++ editor. You can just open it with something else. Any free Notepad editor, including Notepad itself. I prefer Notepad++, as I can see the line numbers as well. I want you to basically now to open and have a look how your Snot file looks like. What we are going to do is we're going to scroll down to line 41. What are we going to do in line 41? This is my line 41. As you can see, this is how we set up our network variables. If you don't have any idea, please go and read the readme.variables. But in our case, as I had it in the slides, I would like you to remember I went and done the Snot dev. You need to configure the Snot log files to everything what you see with HomeNet here. You should put your computer IP address. How can you find your IP address? It's easy. You just do ipconfig in your command line. And in my case, my IP address is .12. So come here, replace any home_net to home_net to 10.10.10.12. You can copy this and use the Control F function do it all automatically, or you can just go and scroll down and change all this, as you can see, to net, home.net, to, you can just come and do it automatically from here, but just to make it easy for you, I'm just doing it one by one. Okay, I don't want to touch the external _.net files because we have nothing to do with those. Important note here, if you have a DNS server, then you need to change all the DNS _service line and replacing with the home.net line as well. So you should put your DNS server address and the DNS _service line. In this case, I don't have any DNSs, extra DNS servers, that's why I'm gonna leave it as is. But if you have it, please make sure you change that. The same applies for if you have any SMTP servers, HTTP servers, SQL servers, Telnet servers, SSH servers. Basically, if you add all these IP addresses there, Snort will be able to keep an eye for you on those services as well. Remember that if you don't have any of the servers running on your machine, leave the line as is. Do not make any changes in that line. And as soon as you do it, you can just click save. Now, our next change is going to be to scroll to line 104. As you can see, I'm already here. We have a variable with the so rule path and so rules. So, what I'm going to do is, in this line, I'm going to replace .rules files, okay, with C in my case it's in C drive, C : Snot rules. If you look in 105, I'm doing the same. So you can just copy that. Okay. Now I'm scrolling down to line 113 and 114. There, I'm also replacing the rule files with my default rules. Sorry, I'm replacing the default rules to 113 and 114 actually. In this case 112, sorry. Okay, now I'm gonna click save again, and feel free to minimize it to move on with your next steps. Now, our job is to go to see Snort, and from there to rules. I have my own rules here, okay, but I want you to go and open this. So I want you to right click new and add the new rule files. Oh, sorry, I'm not under the rules, so I want you to go to the rules folder. Here's all my rules, and now new file. In this case, you can just do the text file, white _ list, remove the text and do it .rules. Yeah, I know I'm changing my file extension. Now, new file, and I want to call it black _ list. Ignore that. Black rename list, just delete the text and save it as dot rules. Are you sure? Yes. Now we're going to step 4. Remember what we done is before we did change some rules and step in the configuration file. What we are going to do this time is we're going to configure the dynamic loaded libraries. And to be able to do that, I want you to go to line 242. So they are not located there. I have my own rules. If you don't have your own rules, you can just keep it as is. But in my case, the rules are under C, Snot, library, Snot underscore, it's called dynamic preprocessor. Again, what you can do is, what I've done is I have my own Snot rules which I'm using. If you don't have your own, please don't use any this modification steps. Or you can just download the rules from the Snot website. Download the rules from the Snot website and just use them. As you can see, you can just download any stuff via the community website here as well. The beauty of this text file is what you can do. You can come, for example, to line 265. You can just come and add the hash sign and comment. Say, you know what? This is a rule for CSU ENSA class. You can just come and comment here as well. If you see this, you can just do whatever you like. I'm just giving you examples what you can do with. And as soon as you do that, you just save it. If you have any output plugins, you can come and modify them here. As you noticed, what we've done so far is this file has step 1, set up the network variables. I just set it up. Step 2, sorry, this is step 3. Step 2, configure the decoder. I didn't have any decoders to configure. Step 3, configure the base detection engine. I didn't change some, as I had my own. Step 4 was configuring dynamic loaded libraries. I changed it to my Snot library. Step 5 is configuring the preprocessors. I did configure it, I did add some comments. Is there in step 7? You just scroll down. Here it is, customize the rule set if you have any to customize. If you got step 8, just scroll down. Customize your preprocessor and decoder alerts. And that's it. We got 8 steps, which we did configure some. You don't have to configure any if you don't need to.